Okay. Hopefully y'all get it that I had to go out and come back in. Go to YouTube. Turn the volume off. Uh-oh, now that's messing up. Okay. We're going to try this again and see what happens. Let's try this again. That's what happened. I was trying to be fancy. Can y'all hear me now? Hi again. You can hear me. You can see me. I was trying to be fancy and I'm not hearing anything. Oh. You know what? Let me do this. Where's my microphone? Let me see. Do this. And turn this. I can, okay, hear you. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to be fancy, but that's not a good idea. Anyway, I was trying to have two cameras, but I need some more practice. Okay, thanks, Trisha. But what we're going to do is why is this not coming through here? Okay. What I'm going to show tonight is we're just going to do a couple of crafts. And if you have any questions you want to ask me along the way, feel free to do so. Hi, Judy. How are you? And okay, and the only materials we really will be needing, you know what? Let me do this. The only materials we'll really be needing this evening, a glue gun, number one friend of a crafter. But if you don't want to use a glue gun, you can always use fabric tack glue, which I really like this glue here a lot too. Or you can use the Eileen's tacky glue. Okay, but my preference is the glue gun. Regular glue sticks, and actually a lot of the a lot of the materials we'll be using tonight is coming from the Dollar Tree. A lot of them. This glue sticks, I don't normally use this kind, but I was out and on vacation and I picked these up and was using those. So our first project we're going to do today, let's start with this here. This is an ornament. And we're going to make one of these real quick. It's going to be totally different from this one here though, okay? And where I got my images from, you can buy images that you just print off yourself. And this one here came from, anyway, I got it off of Etsy. They have all these different ladies on it. And the one that we're going to start with, okay, so that's over there. We're going to do this little girl here as an ornament. Okay. Hi, Sarah Lee. How are you? So we're going to use all these different laces and pearls and little trims and stuff for her. And I take these pieces of lace. They are approximately, it can be any lace you want, any trims, any fabric. These happen to be about 20 inches long, this lace. Hi, Helen. And I take all of them and I just put them together. And even if they're not even, I don't worry about that right now. Put a couple pieces of ribbon in there. More ribbon, and we just kind of mix these up. Here's a piece of white lace that I want to include in there. Okay, so now I have all my laces together. I take another piece of ribbon. Use the skinny ribbon here, and I tie a knot around that. This is going to be her skirt. And you see how simple that is. Everybody can do that, right? No sewing. Then the next thing I do, I take this here and I put a bead of glue right. Oh, before I do that, one thing I forgot. I want to cut her hand loose from here. Hopefully you can see that. Because when I glue this up under, I want part of it to go behind her. So I'm going to take and put some glue. Let me cut these little fingers loose right here. And I did, okay, I printed this on cardstock, number one. After I printed it on cardstock, I glued another sheet of cardstock to it to give it some body. Now I'm going to put my lace right here, along here. And pull her little hand out from up under there. So as you can see, she now has an instant skirt on. An instant skirt. Then I'm going to take this little piece of gathered lace that I have here. And I am going to glue that at her waistline to kind of, nope, don't like that. I'm just, hey, Gina Maria. Marie, how are you? Hi, Krista, Kansas Picker. Okay, so I didn't like the way this lace looked on there. So what I am going to do instead, I'm going to lay that right there. I have a lot of little roses and flowers and such. I'm going to take that, since she has flowers in her hand anyway, and I am going to start gluing random flowers and stuff right along there. Push that in. Here's another little flower here. Then I have some of these kind of little flowers and ribbons. Let's see here. This color will be nice. Let's glue this right here. And what else? There's a cute little pink flower. Don't use your good scissors when you're doing this project, because I use just cut, stick a little glue on there and stick that there. So see, now it's looking like at her waist, I'm going to continue adding a few more flowers. So it looked like she's just holding that bouquet of flowers versus it being at her waist. Let's see here. Here's another little flower here. There's another flower there. And I'm going through these quick because I have quite a few projects I wanted to share with you. Put another one here. So basically, like, she could be finished now, but you know me, I like to be a little extra, as my daughter always say. So let's take this gold ribbon. Do I want to use gold? Yeah, no, don't want to use that. Let's use this white ribbon and tie a little tiny bow. Okay, just a little bow, because I want to put this in her hair. And then we'll put a couple of flowers in there. So we got that little bow, but you know what else I just thought I'd like to do? And you can see this came from the thrift store. I buy lots of junk at the thrift store. I call it junk because, you know, whatever. Do I want to use this one? Yeah. No, this is that teeny, tiny, tiny one. Where's the other gold? I had another gold ribbon here on this table. Okay, let's use this one here then. This is a bit thicker. Before I glue that ribbon on her hair, I am going to put a little bit of glue on the back. And I'm going to take this and wrap it around her head several times, so it almost looks like she has a halo on. And then I'll cut it. Okay, so now she has that little halo on. Then I'm going to take my little tiny bow I made and glue that right there. Okay, so now I'm liking the way she's looking. What do you think? Thank you. I don't know what it said. Deleted by. Thank you, Sam. Hey, Ladybug, how are you? So now I'm going to put some flowers in her hair as well. Okay, so then the very last thing I would do, since this is an ornament, I'd make a loop with ribbon and glue it right on the back of there. Your eye, thank you. So how do you like that? Okay, so that's ideal number one. And you can hang it from the wall, or you could hang it, you know, on your tree. So this is two versions of the same thing, and you can see how different they look. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, and I mean, if I would normally go through and trim the bottom even and everything. So that's project number one. Oh, the last thing I would have done too, I forgot. I did have pearls on the table. I wanted to put some little earrings on her and stuff. But that's ideal number one. And like I said, you can go on Etsy or any place and you can buy images and then you just cut them out. Okay, thank you, Thrifting Channel. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Share me your with me your name again, please. Okay, my next project, we'll do this one since I have it right here. We're gonna do this right here. And this started life as one of these little tart pans. And I did find this at Goodwill. You can see I paid 99 cents for it. Okay, so your first thing you do, you want to cover this back. You don't have to, but I like to cover my back. So I bought from Hobby Lobby a book of this Old World Winter Christmas paper, and it is a cardstock paper. And you'll see me using from this book several times tonight. And Hobby Lobby's been having all of their Christmas items 50% off. So this book costed $3.50. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kat. Kaya. Okay. So you take this, set it on here, and you would trace all the way around the bottom of that to get the circumference you need to cover the inside. And cut. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Hi, Save Her First. I think your name is Ella. Hi, Ella. Thanks for joining me. Okay, so I cut that out, and you can see that fits right in there perfectly. To glue this in, I will, instead of using my hot glue gun, I am going to use my wet glue for this project. I'm not for the whole thing, but just to glue this paper in. Maybe not. We'll see. Oh, we're not using that. That glue don't want to come out. There goes my camera. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. I tell you, tonight I am having my... Why is that not staying up tonight? Hold on. I don't know why that's not staying up. Usually this tripod works really good. Okay. We back. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to use this glue here. Because sometimes hot glue do not want to stick too well to, metals. So I just put a gob of that glue down in there. That'll hold that down. Move this camera down just a little bit. Almost scared to move it too much. Okay, so I put this in there. Push it all the way down in there really tight. So that's the first step. The next step that I do with this is I take a piece of a silver colored chenille. I put a little bead of glue starting it off. Put that in the middle for you. And I go all the way around that. That hides where the two pieces come together. And then I keep going. Okay, then I take and I cut this where the two come together. Okay, put a little bit of glue there where it comes together. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to put some snow down in here. This is just regular polyfill. So I would pull some polyfill off. And I will put a bead of glue right down in there to hold this on. Okay, so now it has some little snow down there. Then I'll decide what I'm going to put in there. Okay, and these came from the Dollar Tree as well. They had quite a few really nice ones. And you get 3 in here for $1, and I have already used one of them. Okay, so I'm going to use those 2. I'm going to use these, probably these 2 trees here. Now you can see that's a little bit too tall. So only thing I'm going to do, if you just pull this, The base comes right off. Pat, have you been looking at Pinterest? Both of these pinned. Oh, I really haven't been looking at Pinterest this week, but I usually do, but I try not to because Pinterest will take all of your time. And then I stick this little tree right here. And then I think I want to have another tree in there. So I'm going to put that there, or do I want it there? I think, kind of play with positioning where you want your items. Okay, so I want this tree right here in front, kind of this other tree. And then the next thing I'm going to add is Santa. And I want him over here to the side because I want something to help give him a little bit more stability. So I'm going to put a little drop of glue there and a little drop there. Okay. Then the next item I'm going to put on him is this little sign that says North Pole this way and stuff. We're going to put that right there next to Santa. Hi, Auntie Christy. How are you? Okay. So now I have that much in there. And this is not standing out as far as I want it to stand out. So what I would do in that case, I would take like a little ball of cotton or anything. Just anything, because one thing I'm trying not to do is run back and forth to the store buying products and stuff. Trying to use everything that I have here. Okay, so I'm going to take this. It's like a little snowball. And see if I can lift that up some. Yeah, that works. So now I'm going to lift that up and put a bead of glue on the little snowball and stick that right back there. And don't be afraid to like lift your stuff up, move it around till you get it just where you want it. Okay. So that's looking pretty good to me, but I don't want Santa's feet and stuff showing like that. So I would take a little bit more snow and put some little snow right around there. Okay. So now I'm pleased with the way the little background looked. I probably would like to have a little snow back here. So it's two ways you can get some snow. I hate using this stuff because it gets everywhere. I need to break out a glue gun. Glue guns are wonderful. I don't know what we did in crafting before the glue gun. And one other thing I do, see this little glass thing? This is what I normally try to keep my glue gun on, and that came from the Dollar Tree. It's just a little, and you can see I'm putting little bits of glue down on here, and then I'm just throwing some snow on that. Okay. Put a little bit more glue on that so I can put some glue and then, some snow, and then I will show you this up close again before we go to the next step. And glitter also works on that, but glitter makes a mess too. See, so now they look like it's snowing outside. Then I take this trim here, and I don't know if I got this at Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. And I start my trim up here at the top. And just put a little bit of glue as you go around, okay? Just a little at a time because you don't want that glue to dry before you get to it. Okay. Let's go a little bit further. And a little bit further around. And just keep going all the way till you make it back up to the top. Okay, then once you get to the top, where these two pieces come together, you want to go in and cut that again. Okay, glue. Okay, so you want to let that come right back together there. Okay. And then the next step you want to do, you want to hide that up there where that all came together. And you could do that one of two ways. What way I'm going to do it today is, where is it? Thought I had everything on the table together. Anyway, anywho, I would take some greenery and put greenery right there, or a bow. So let's do a bow because I see some ribbon that's close. And this ribbon says Merry Christmas and has a little red truck and stuff on it. So I'm going to make a bow. Okay, turn that around real nice and cut my ribbon. And you could glue a ribbon right there at the top. Okay, put some glue right there on that. And there you go. And that's this finished project. And you can see, other than cutting this stuff, well, actually on this one, this is like real time. So everybody can do this and get some ornaments and stuff made up. Yeah. So you can do this a lot of different ways with any little thing. You can use box tops. You can use almost anything. The next project I'm going to show you what else we use is the similar kind of little assemblage kind of thing. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Okay, so that was project number 2. The next one we're going to do, thank you, Trisha. The next one we're going to do, these are cookie cutters. I found this thing of cookie cutters here at the thrift store, I don't know, for 99 cents or something. But I was planning on doing it with some vintage ones, but I found, I thought these were cute, and I knew where they were this evening. So that's what we're going to make up now. And to make this, I'm going to use the Christmas tree one this time. And I'm going to use this red paper here. And the first thing I'm going to do is to lay this Christmas tree, lay the paper down flat and lay the tree there. You can do it one or two ways. You can go on and glue this down and then cut, or you can trace around it. So tonight I'm going to attempt to cut afterwards. Okay, we'll see how this works. Usually I trace, but I never get it exact, so I have to go around and trim anyway. So we're going to press that right there. Make sure it's a good bond. So you can see that's on there. Then I take my scissors and I'm going to trim all the way around. And I'm not an expert on this. This is just the way I do it. But you can do it any way you want. Love the cookie cutter idea. And you can see I'm just trimming around this. This will work better if I had my little teeny scissors out, but I forgot to bring those out. So I'm just trimming all the way around that. Okay, so now that's done. And since this tree is green, this time instead of trimming around this edge here, I'm going to trim on the outside of here, and plus that will hide all of my messy cutting. Okay, so I would start at the bottom, putting a little bit of glue. And just press it right into the glue. See, now that makes everything look real neat. And just keep going around. One pipe cleaner should be enough. Okay, pressing that in there good. Let's come down the other side now. And just keep coming around. And now I'm going to cut where these two pieces come together. And put a spot of glue there to hold that in place. Now that looks a little neater. Yeah, and actually, you know what? Of course, you know I got these at the Dollar Tree too. Because it was easier than looking for the ones I kind of sort of thought I knew where it was. Okay, so that's step number 1 on that. Well, 1 and 2. Now, of course, I'm going to put snow on the bottom. I got glue all over my fingers. Look at that. It peels off though. But I tend to leave it on there for a while because that way it shields my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to push that all down in there. So this is my snow. Okay. And then the next thing I'm going to do on this is I got a little Christmas tree, so got to use that. So I'm going to put the little tree, snow on the bottom, and a little bit around the top of that piece of wood. And I'm going to glue that tree in there. Then the next thing I'm going to glue in there, I have some little deer on the table somewhere. Where are you? Right here. They dropped out. And I'm going to put some little bits of, see how teeny tiny this is? Look at there. He is teeny tiny. And I'm going to put little bits of glue on his feet and stick him right down into the snow. Then this bow is already pre-made. I don't know where I picked it up someplace. Glue that on the top of the tree, almost like my star. Then I wanted to look a little bit more festive. So I have this gold, this is embroidery floss. So I'm going to take and put a little spot of glue on the back. And stick the little tail in there. And then I'm going to start. Oh, why are you stuck? Did I get the wrong end? Hold on, I got the wrong end. I wonder how the wrong end got out. Okay. And I'm just going to wrap this around. Maybe that or pearls. I'll use this since I've started. See how I'm just wrapping that to make it look like garland on the tree? And you can wrap it as much as you want. And everything is behind there and I'm not liking that. So we're not going to put that down. Because I don't like the way that looks. So that just gives you an ideal. I need to work on my ideal a little bit more. I think I want to take some little small ornaments and decorate the tree a little bit, even though it's outside. And then you put a hanger on that. And your hanger can be, I have this little piece of gold left here. Make a little loop. Turn your tree over to the back and put a little bit of glue right up there at the top. Okay, so that's project number 3. Just showing you both of them. Okay, so, and then, no, I'm ahead of myself here. I got this at the thrift store for $1. And so far I have made 2 projects from this. And I will show you project number 1. We're not going to actually make this one. Very easy though. I took a pine cone that came on this, by the way. It's a plastic pine cone. And it already had this greenery on it. So I just took a wooden ball head, stuck on the top, and a little elf-like hat. And then put you a little hanger on it. And that's a real pretty, ornament for your tree. I would be burnt. No. These are easy. So, but what we're going to do with this wooden ball and one of these bells, I'm going to go in and cut the bell off of this. Take one of these little wooden balls. I'm going to put some glue around that base and stick that head right on there. Oh, let me show you what we're making. This little pipe cleaner elf, Pixie, they would have faces, put a little blush and everything on them, but that's what we're making. And they're posable because they're just pipe cleaners. You could make him bend his leg up and hug his legs, whatever you wanted to do with it. Yes, they are. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue and put my glue around this little bell top. And you don't have to worry about the glue being messy because you're going to be hiding all of that anyway. And hold it till it comes down. I see that, Trisha. Okay, so now that's nice and tight on there. That's why I like using hot glue. It dries like zoom. It's dry. And this is a little hit. The Vaseline, I forgot to bring my Vaseline in there to stop the strings. But this isn't stringing too bad. But put you a little bit of hot glue on there when you ready to put your new glue stick in. That way you don't have to worry about it falling out the back of your glue gun. Okay, so then the next thing we're going to do, we take this pipe cleaner here. I kind of eyeball it where I wanted to cut it. I need arms and legs. So I think about how long the arms are going to be. And just in case you need to know the measurements, that's right at 4 inches. And the pipe cleaners are 12 inches. So I cut that. Then I take my pipe cleaner, and these stars have holes in them. Well, they're actually, these bells have star holes. See, and I stick that through there and it comes right out the other side. So those become the arms and kind of make them even. You can take a ruler and measure if you want. I don't do that though. Hi, Mayberry, how are you? And I put a little bit of glue there to kind of hold that arm in place. And then I put a little glue on the other side. Okay, now the arms are on. And so it's not these little sharp points where you cut your pipe cleaner. I take it and just bend that right up a little bit. So now it's just a smooth rounded edge. Kitschy cute. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so there's his arms. Then I do the same thing on the legs. Now you can see the little holes. I go straight in and out the other side. Pull them down till they're even. And I go in and I put a little glue in each one of the holes. Pull it down, put some glue in the hole, and then pull the legs in tight. Okay, so there's the first little beginning of your elf. Pixie, elf, whatever. And then I do the same thing on the bottom, but this time I create like a foot. Now you notice one of these are longer than the other. So the first thing I would do is go cut them even. Then I would take my finger and about a 1/2 inch up, I would bend, well, I'm telling a tale. First thing I do go on and bend up a little bit to get smooth edges. I don't like anything sharp. And then I create his little foot. So down you can see he has feet. You can bend him at the knee if you want to give him a little bit of personality. Then the next thing I do, I have some lace and it wasn't gathered, so I gathered it. And so to gather it, you just take your needle and thread. You see me do this before, and just go in and out, in and out, in and out till you get the length that you want. Okay, pull it tight. And let's take that and put it right around his neck. This one might be a little girl. This was a girl. I'm gonna make this one a girl. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to make her little skirt. My threads got kind of caught around his legs there. So I go back in this side here. I don't know if you can see that. I go right in and I pull this tight. So she has a ruffle at the neck. And then I knot this off. Okay. So I would knot this off. Trying to keep it on camera. Okay, so now that's knotted. Okay, so that's a little ruffle at the neck now. You see that? That's the ruffle. Then the next step, since we're going to make this one a girl, get a little bit of trim out of my little basket here. This is just some plain old whatever. I don't know what it is. Some cheap tool stuff. It came from the Dollar Tree too. Where I live, we don't have a Michael's or we don't have Joann's. All we have is a Hobby Lobby, and it's like, it's not too far from me, but I don't be hardly going down that way. So I have to go to the Dollar Tree. So now what I did, I took that and I folded in half. I'm making her a little tutu. I got to put a knot in the end of that so it don't just pull right out. So hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going in and out the same way I've been doing on the other one. And you can see as I'm pulling that, it's gathering. I'm trying to look. Hey, Angela, how are you? I'm trying to look at the chat from time to time. Hey, Book, how are you? And so you can see I'm just gathering along, just going along, just gathering that. Okay, so now I'm to the other side. I don't know why my thread is getting all tangled up today, this evening. So see, now I'm going to pull that, and this becomes her little skirt. I wrap it around her body, and I go back in the side where I started and pull it tight. I am going to put some glue on this just to secure it in place. Put some glue there. And that's one knot. I like to knot stuff like this twice. And you just knot, you just go through the loop that you have left. Okay, tight. And now cut that off. So you can see her little tutu skirt now. So then I would go right up under here and I would put a little bead of glue. That'll hold that in place. I'd go around the back of it and I will do the same thing on the back. Okay. And then I'm going to separate the two layers of her tutu now. Okay. Then, so that's her coming along. And then to secure this lace at her neck, I want to put a little bit of glue right there. It's not really necessary, but that's just me. So hopefully you can see that, what I'm doing there. Then to give her a little bit of trim and so forth, got some pom-poms. You see they came from the dollar store too. And I'm going to use red pom-poms on her. And I think I'm going to use red and green. I use the teeniest ones that's in this bag. And I'm going to put some green ones on her feet. Some green pom-poms on the legs. There's one there. Press that down tight. And a green there. Ouch. Ooh, got myself that time. Okay. So that's the first step to decorating her. And then the next step, right at the center of her waistband, I'm going to put a red pom-pom. Then she still needs something else. So at the neck, instead of a pom-pom, I bought this bag of bows, so I don't even have to tie all these little tiny bows at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to put a bow right there at her neck. So she's coming along, cracking a road trip to Pat's house. You know what? I am thinking about doing like a little open house thing at my house. If you want to come, it's my incentive to get my craft studio clean. I put a little bit of glue right here up at her forehead so I can hold this head in place in the center. And if you notice, the little head has a little curve in it, so I know that's the center front. Then I take it and I put a little bit of glue all the way around her head and bring that right there. And I will, if you want the pattern for the heads in the next project, if you will send me an email, I will send you just a rough pattern. Okay. And I'll type my email in. So now you can see she has her little cone head on. And you have to put a little ball on the end of there. And we're going to do a green one. So I need one more itty bitty green one. Are you in Georgia or Alabama, Pat? I'm in North Carolina. I'm between Raleigh and Greensboro. Okay, so now, then I would take a regular, I have one on the table someplace. I would take regular people blush and put a little bit of blush on her cheeks, some little dots for eyes, and a little red heart for her lips. And then if you want to, this part is not necessary, but you can take like a natural color felt and cut some little elf ears. I didn't do that to that other one. But I'm going to give her some little elf ears. Pixie ears, elf ears. So there's one. And I'm going to stick it right there on the side of her head. And I put a little pinch in it. And that kind of gives that ear a little shape. Okay, so that's ear number one. And then I kind of eyeball it and go right on the other side and give her another ear. And that's ear number two. Crochet. Hey, Backbeat. I think Becky is your name. Okay. So then the last thing I would do to this, you could use either the embroidery floss, or you can use ribbon. You can use rickrack. You can use almost anything. I'm going to use this gold ribbon, put a little bit of glue on that, and stick that right to the back of her head. I like to really move it down so it's touching the wood, so all the pressure is not on the hat. My first name is Ty. Oh, okay then. Thank you. I can remember that. Okay, so that's the back, and now she's ready to hang on your tree. Or she would look adorable sitting on something. Her little legs will bend. So now this is a little couple, but she is missing her gift. I think I'll give her a red present. So I'll take a little dot of glue and put on her hand, put on the present, and now she has a little gift in her hand. So that is a pair. Thank you, Kathy. So that's a little pair. And they don't ring anymore. Oh, I wonder what happened to the ringer thing. I don't even hear it moving. I guess it got caught in the glue. Can't stay long, but thank you for stopping in. And on this one here, what I did, I couldn't find my white felt right off. So I just took some of that polyfill and just made her a little furry band. Him. I appreciate that. One last thing I would do to the girl is I would put a little drop of glue right behind the little pom-pom, and I would give her some little bows on her shoes. I just think every little girl needs some ribbon, as much ribbon as possible. And there you go. And also on her, I probably would be adding a little bit of greenery up there and other stuff. So, you can make them as elaborate as you want. So that was my next couple of projects. Then the next project, this one is going to take the longest, but still it doesn't take any. She's so stunning. Thank you. The next one we're going to make is these little ones here. And again, if you want the pattern, hi Vintage Biking Treasures, hi Becky. If you want this pattern, send me an email, and my email is just patdoodles@gmail.com. I'll type that in the comments, but you can send me an email and I will send you the outline of that pattern at gmail.com. And let's enter that. Okay. So that was my email that I just put in the comments. Okay. Hi, Antoinette. Okay. So next project we're going to make, like I said, is these here. And they're very, very simple. This is what the pattern looks like for his clothes. Okay. And I forgot to get a pipe cleaner out. And on this, it doesn't matter what color pipe cleaner you use, okay? Because you won't even see the pipe cleaner. You will need two. So the first thing you want to do, you remember how you used to play like hangman and you made this little stick figurine, like a little stick man kind of. So I take this and kind of twist that together. Then these are the arms here. And to get what length you need for the arms, you want to measure leaving just hanging out just a little bit. So I need this much, which is probably right at a half of a pipe cleaner. Okay, then I take this. Let's go back to him first. Fold this in half, matching the wrist part. And you want to make a little hole because you want that pipe cleaner to come out the top of that. Okay, so that's like the little neck hole. Then you're going to take and open it up. Now you see that little hole, and I'm going to stick this right through that hole. Then take your feet and bend up just a little bit because you don't want that sharp point to stick through your felt. Now you could go and sew this if you want to. I'm not doing any sewing tonight on the sewing machine, and for the sake of time, I'm doing it all with the glue gun. I put a little bit of glue down here close near the feet, and I stick that there. Then I do the exact same thing over here on the other side. Okay. And I still should have some hanging out, yes. Now I take my arms and I bend back just a little bit. I see you, Ladybug. I will send you a pattern, but I'm going to send the patterns out tomorrow. And then I take that and I just lay that across, making sure just a little bit is hanging out of each side. And I put some glue right there. And this is right there at the neck hole almost, because I want to have something strong enough that will support this wood ball head. Now we're going to take that and fold this right in half. Okay. Then we're going to take a little bit of glue and make a bead of glue all the way around to enclose all of the pipe cleaners. Okay. So we're going to go. See, can you see that how I'm only using a little bit because you don't want that glue to squeeze out. And I go slow using a little at a time. Okay, so I got that arm done. If you sew, would it be, if I sewed these, what I actually would do, I'll show you how I sew these. I would take a big piece of felt like this and fold it in half. So I have a double layer. I would take my pattern. I'm going to do it up on this end. And this gives you a lot. This saves you a lot of fabric as well as time. Then you just trace right around like this here. I'm hoping you'll be able to see this when I finish. I was explaining this to someone the other day. Okay, and what I would do is take my sewing machine. Don't use black though. Use a water soluble marker so it'll fade. And you would stitch right on this line all the way around. Then you would cut out very close to your stitching. Then you would insert, leave this open. See how I left that opening right there? Then you would slip your pipe cleaner down inside of there. So this takes so much less time. And the other thing is you don't waste any fabric because see, well, I don't have enough over there, but see how you would normally fit that right there next to that one, then flip it and get another one there. So you don't waste a bit of fabric doing it this way. Okay, so let's finish getting this all glued together. You see, and I'm just going real slow, a little bit at a time. Now I just went around the bottom of that foot. And now I'm going to come up to the crotch. And I recommend using felt. You could use fleece, but felt works pretty good. You're more than welcome, Kathy. I make my doll clothes and everything like that. Put some glue on that side all the way down. Then I go around the bottom of the foot. Oops. See, so all I have left to close in is that little part there. And you want to use just a very light pressure on your glue gun. And that way it's not super hard. And also you don't have to worry about the glue sticking out. So now that part is done. Then the next thing you do is you take your wooden ball. Wooden ball, where are you? I guess it rolled away. Hold on, I have some more on this table. Wooden ball, where are you? I had everything together, so I know it's on this table. Hold on, I have so much junk on the table. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Here's one right here. Okay, so now now you can see that's too long for that neck right now. So take this, twist it, and push it back down. And that's perfect now. So take that off and put a pile of glue on both sides because you want that head to be on very firmly. And I don't worry too much about the glue puckering out because you're going to be putting something at that neck anyway. So that's your little shape. The next thing we're going to do, as you can see, I cut some little bitty hands out. If you can see that. You're going to glue a hand on the front. Put a little dab of glue, just a little bit of glue on the front of that pipe cleaner. And glue his little hand on. But you don't want that looking like that on the back, so you need to have another one. But I just cut out two, so I need to cut out one more hand. Two more hands. And I kind of just wing everything, but I will send you an actual tracing of a hand, the hands, the ears, if you want to do that detail. Okay, so I'm just cutting out another one of these little hands because I need to glue one on the back. Come off of there. And the good thing is, before you put the hat on these, this is just a little tip. Go in and draw your face on it. So that way, if you mess up, since the face is the same on the back, the body's the same on the back and the front, you can just switch it around and have another chance at drawing the head. Okay, then we put these arms on this side. Okay, so that's now he got his little arms and everything on. And like you notice, this one's a little bit too short. You can just push that pipe cleaner back up and it works just fine. The next step we do on this one is we have to give him a collar of some sort. And I'm going to do green because I happen to have green here. I'm going to cut a circle. I take my fabric, it's roughly a square right now. Take my fabric, fold it in half, fold it in quarters, and then cut. And then I want it to be zigzagged around the edge. So I'm just going to cut these out. You can have your collar round. You can have your collar however you want your collar to be. And then I'm going to find which side looks the nicest, which is this side here. So that's going to be my front. And I'm just going to cut straight up and cut a little hole so it'll fit around the neck. When I send you a pattern, you'll have the actual trace line for it. And you can see I put that right there around his neck. So now he has his little collar on. And I put a little bit of glue back there to hold it together in the center bag. Okay. So that's part starting, how I want that to look. The next step we're going to do is we're going to go on and do his hat. I have this red, but since I use green for the collar, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this here, lay it on there like so. And you can use a pencil to trace this if you want. I'm just following that same shape of that hat. And then I'm just going to do a zigzag at the top. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And you know, the thing is, most people, this is cut right here, but I don't want my head to fall apart. So I'm going to put a little bit, a bead of glue on the back of that. So it'll glue those two little pieces back together. Most people spend more time trying to get it perfect. And once it's made, you don't even notice it. I mean, unless it's something major. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and glue it right to that. Okay. So I take a little bit of glue, a very small bead of glue, and put right on there. Okay. Then I find where I think about the center of the head is, and I put one little drop of glue just to hold that in place. Okay. So that's how it's looking now. And then I turn it over and I put a bead of glue right around that head. You see the glue? And then just wrap that around and wrap this side around. So now he has his little hat on. And now all that back is open right now. So on one side, it doesn't matter which side, you want to put a bead of glue. I guess this one's head's a little bit bigger because this don't want to half close. But we can make it close. Does it matter what type of glue you use? Any hot glue. This glue actually came from the Dollar Tree. But also, I didn't bring it in the house, but they do sell a fabric glue. The only problem with the fabric glue is it's white. But any glue, this one came from the Dollar Tree. More so than the glue gun may make a difference. This one is just, I don't know where I even bought it. It's probably cost $3 or $4. But make sure you get a high temp glue gun, unless you're working with children. Because I had this low temp plugged in. This thing just gets on my last nerve. But you can see right there it says low temp. So I do use a high temperature glue gun. This would be great to make babies first. Yes. Imagine this in pinks and blues would be really pretty. And then you see how the arms bend, how the legs bend. So if you want your little elf to be bent up, holding his knees, like the old-fashioned ones and stuff. So, they're very flexible. The only thing left that I would do to this one, I would put a pom-pom on the edge of his head. And I'm going to use, instead of that teeny tiny pom-pom, I'm going to use the middle-sized pom-pom. And just stick that right on the hat. Okay. Then I would put a pom-pom right up there, the little bitty ones, right there at the, I think I'm going to put a tie right there on this one. Let's go with another one of these teeny tiny bows. Right there at his neck. We'll go with that. And then I'm going to go with a red pom-pom right there. I wish I had some white pom-poms out, but I don't. Because I would have rather have used white pom-poms on this. And then on his feet, what you want to do is go in and just bend that up a little bit to give him some little feet. And so he's basically finished now. So you can add as much trim. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put his ears on. Right here on the sides of the hats of his hat, go on and stick his little ears on the side. The ears is half on the hat and half off of the hat. And just bend them down. So there he is. Yes, you know what? And I have some jingle bells on this table somewhere, but I just don't know where they are. So what I'm going to put in his hand, since Julia mentioned bells, all of this little trim stuff like this, all these little pieces of stuff like this is like perfect for these. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue that in his hand and that in his hand, and I am going to put, I don't have any jingle bells handy, but I do have some of these little bells handy. And I know several people had bought these little bells here from when I had offered some. Maybe. Well, with these big ears, he's going to hear a lot of evil. So on this one, what I'm going to do, I am going to put a dot of glue right on his hand and put this gold trim right there. Oh, you could make one, yeah. And I'm going to put that in the other hand. So he has this gold beaded trim. And then in the middle of that, you know what would be cute? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I changed my mind. I was going to put a bell on it. But what I'm going to do is put some pom-poms on it, almost like he's decorating a tree to make these look like ornaments. Okay, I don't have any white pom-poms right here. So what I'm going to do, pull me a little piece of this off. Ooh, almost burnt myself. Put a little dot of glue on there, and then I'm going to wrap this up and make me a little pom-pom. What big ears you have. Yes, he does have big ears. But the good thing about it is, watch this. Let me do this first. Let me finish one thing at a time. So now I have a little white pom-pom because I desperately wanted some white, a little snowball or whatever. Okay, so now I can take this and stick this white one on there. So now there's a white pom-pom. And I just pulled it apart some. But the good thing is I can trim it down to make it the size that I want to match the other ones. Okay. So I said, oh, I don't like these ears being this big. I can take my scissors and trim these ears down. It gets a little tricky, but with little scissors, it's much easier. See, now his ears, not terribly huge. So now he looks like these ones here. And these are about 6 inches, I think, 7 inches. So that's the next project. Now on these ones, I use some Christmas fabric as the little hats. Okay. Then today when I was on I was just visiting with Kansas picker, Christy. You know, but I mess up people's names, so it's okay. Hey Fiona, let me get my iron down because I want to show you what else I do with she had something and she couldn't quite understand what. Ooh. Okay, so now I got my iron out. Let me plug it in. She was where's my plug? Right here. We were talking about appliques. Okay, iron on. Okay, you set your iron at your highest setting, okay? And you also want to have a little ironing board. But before I get to the ironing board part, I want to show you what we're going to do. That and that and this and this. Okay, so you want to make some little cute t-shirts and stuff, but you don't want to try to make copies and iron, you know, all that. So you can find some pretty fabric. This is just little design. And make your own appliques. You can put this on dish towels. You can put it on handkerchiefs. You can put these small designs. And this Santa, okay? So all you do, I meant to have one of these ready, but I didn't. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just cut out roughly a square around this Santa. Okay. And then once you get that, you get something called heat and bond. And they sell it in two kinds. They sell a lightweight and a heavyweight. If you're old school, hey Dilbert, if you're old school and you remember Stitch Witchery, it's like Stitch Witchery, but the difference is it have a paper backing on one side. So you take that and cut it the same size and shape as your applique you're wanting to make. Okay, so now I have that. I usually will use a silicone pressing sheet because that way you won't mess your iron up. Okay, so then I take this. I can lay that on top of my glue gun. Okay, take this and then I just iron right on that. Hold your iron still and also reduce your steam. You don't need any steam. Okay. Now I let that cool down for just a minute, but you notice that paper is stuck on the back of that now? Okay, let's move that out of the way. And I'm gonna put this iron down here temporarily. Now this is cooled off. It cools really fast. Good night, Linda, but thank you. Now I cut right around the Santa. And this is the heavy kind that I'm using, but there's also a lightweight heat and bond. And that way, if you want to sew around it, you can sew around it without your needle getting all gunky. So now you notice I cut around the Santa. Okay, so he's totally cut around, but you notice paper is still on the back. Now you peel your paper off the back. So you notice that's shiny. Now this is ready to iron onto any kind of fabric. You can iron this on wood. or you can iron it on all kinds of things, and it is machine washable. So to iron it on, you would just put it back, put it on whatever you want to iron this on, and use your iron, and boom, it's done. So that's what, when we were talking about appliques, Christy, this is an applique now. And you can iron this on any kind of fabric. I could iron it up on my shirt to make a logo. I could put it on, I mean, I could iron this on anything now. So what this is called, this is heat and bond. This is a very lightweight kind here. And this is a heavier weight. If you're making dish towels and things like that, that you're not going to wash every other day, it's mainly decoration, I would use the heavyweight and not try to stitch around all those little curves and stuff. Okay. Now for our last project we're going to do today, this evening, because how long have I been on? I don't even know. Oh yeah, we're good. I said an hour, 30 minutes. What we're going to make, this last project we're going to make, is these little pins, or like a little brooch, for lack of a better word. And you can see I give them all kinds of wings and stuff. To make this project here, all you need is some cotton fabric. I guess it doesn't have to be cotton. Some type of bead. I have these little pearl beads. And some circles. And I think these circles are 4-inch circles. Yes, they're about 4.5-inch circle. So you take your circle. Hey, Erin, how are you? Fold your circle in half so it looks like that. And let me turn this iron off. Where is it at? Where is the plug for this iron? Okay. Fold this circle in half. And just in case I think I showed how to get a circle. You start with a square, fold your square in quarters, and just round it. Okay, so I take my circle, I fold this in half. Then I fold it in half again, and I kind of finger press it. So I can see where it's, those side lines are, the center rather. And I take my hand and I push this in. Show you. This isn't really necessary, but this is the way I do it. Then I do the same thing on the other side. So you end up with a piece that looks like this. I take my glue gun, put a dot of glue right in between there, and that holds that shape. Okay, so now the shape like that. The next thing I do is I take my needle and thread. And by the way, I am using a heavy thread. This is upholstery thread. Probably not necessary, but I like to make sure it does not come off. Put a knot on the end of it. All this glue is preventing me from making a knot. There we go. And then right here at the tip of it, you want to take your needle through there and make a knot. Okay. Now you're going to take your bead. Make sure your bead has a hole that goes all the way through. Okay. There you go. And slip that right on there like that. And then I go back to the fabric again and through the hole of the bead again. Okay. Now, basically this is finished. But what I'm going to do, go back down to the fabric again, and you want to double knot that. Knot it a few times. But do not cut your thread yet, because now you're ready to give it some wings. Wings can be almost anything. Let's show you some of the choices. I think I have some in here. I don't know where I got these from, but I had a whole bunch of them. So I made wings out of these. I'm making the wings out of pipe cleaners. I mean, they can be, the wings can be anything. But since they're angels, you do want it to have a halo, right? So let's give it a little gold halo before we put the wings on, so we don't have to worry about that glue getting caught in the wings. So, or let's just make the halo out of this, since we're using some silver. Put a dot of glue on the back. And the back of the angel's head is where that thread was going. So put your little dot of glue there and wrap that right around her head. And cut it when you get to the center back. That's the glue from my finger. Okay. Put your dot of glue where that comes together. Okay, so that's her little halo. Now to make your wings, take your 2 fingers and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers like that a few times, or twice, and then slip it off. And then twist in the middle. Now you have some little wings. Hi, my world. Whatever. And put some glue on the back of it, or you can sew it. Either way, you can glue it or sew it. I'm going to glue it tonight. Let's cut that there, because remember I did knot it. Put some glue back there. There you go. And the last thing you're going to do, put you a little spot of glue right there and glue a bow up to the neck. Well, this isn't the very last thing. So basically your angel is finished. Now you're going to take a pin back, which I did not put a pin back on the table. Nope. Anyway, hey Mike, how are you? Everybody know what a pin back is, but if you don't have access to pin backs that you get at Walmart, fabric stores, and so forth, you can always use a regular pin. You know, a regular safety pin. You would just glue the part with the head or the closure part on like that. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. So I'm just going to take that and put a bead of glue. And I put a fair amount of glue this time on there because I want that to stay on. Hold it till your glue is dry. And I'll put this on in just a minute. And so now, how many people think they're ready to, how many people think they're ready that they could do one of these? I think everyone could make one of these, huh? Let's see a show of hands. How many people think they could make these projects I've shown today? Thank you, book. So I'm going to go back and, yeah, thank you, Dilbert. Thank you. I think you can. So I'll show you a rerun of everything that we made. Let's start with the first thing. The first item we made was this beautiful, this was a sample that I had pre-made. And this is the one we made on camera. And these are ornaments for your tree or your wall. And the applique. Good. Okay. Mary. Yay, yay, yay. So, and if you have any questions while you're trying to make these, just send me an email. I pretty much respond. Maybe not the same day, but usually. These were the cookie cutters. These were the little pie pans or little tartlets. Okay, those were that. This was the one we made on camera. This little guy here. And they would have faces. We didn't do that most. Yeah, Angela, thank you. And we made this little bell. I think we actually made the little girl on camera. And they have wooden ball heads as well. And then we had something else. Where is that other little thing? You know, we made that little pine cone. Oh, right here. And this is just, cut this thread that's hooked on here. This is just a pine cone, a little bit of greenery, and a little wooden ball head. Oh, good. I would love for you to share them. Yeah, Mike, I want to see yours too, Mike. And so we made that. And then the very last thing we did was these little angels. And these look really, really cute on. Let me see if I can move my camera up for a minute. You can see if that was on. And it just sticks on with the pen. And then what I didn't show was using the heat and bond, but it's several names. When you go to the fabric store or Walmart, make sure you get one that says it's got sticky on both sides, and preferably one with the paper. I'm going to get my glue stick out now, but I have to start preparing. I probably should be doing that too, but you know. So yeah, you can make your own elf on a shelf. So let me know if you'd like to see more of this type of tutorial. Maybe I'll get my two cameras working right. I don't know. But hopefully it wasn't too bumpy and you were able to follow along. And don't let not having material stop you, what you think is the right material, because you could use any materials. And Dollar Tree even have glue guns now. So they cost $1 at the Dollar Tree. Pecan pies while you watch. My daughter's making the pies, so I don't have to make any dessert. And any cookie cutters will do. If you don't have cookie cutters, get you a cardboard box, cut out whatever shape you want, and start gluing this stuff, because what else I was going to show, but I decided it was taking too long because I was trying to keep it at an hour and a half. You can take a piece of cardboard, right? Take a piece of cardboard, cover it with some, where my paper at? Right here. I'll use this polka dot paper here. Just cover that with some paper, but use the thick cardboard, not this. Good night. Okay, then after you do this, glue a little Christmas tree on there and take an old Christmas card or something, or just write a saying, put a magnet on the back, and you got a refrigerator magnet, which would make great gifts. You could use it as a tag to give a lot, you know, like your gift topper, like you give somebody a gift, attach that to the bow. You know, so all this little stuff like that, you could put the little pipe cleaner around the edge, so you can get real fancy just with stuff that you have around your house. So again, thanks everybody. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And please give me a thumbs up. And on Tuesdays, instead of a sale, I think I will be doing some type of tutorial. And remember, if you want the pattern for this little elf here, send me an email and I'll be glad to send you. It'll just be the outline of the little elf and for the little hat. The ears and the hands will be drawn on it. And you'll print it out on a regular piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. these little elves, you could shrink this down and make pins as well. You know, a little brooch out of the elf. So thanks everybody. And I will be back again on, I think Jody Renshon, I think we're going to have a sale on Friday, a Black Friday sale. And also book, just send me an email to say pattern. And so anybody that want a pattern, I will be giving that pattern away free for the next few days. So just send me an email. And thanks everybody. I appreciate y'all so much. Thanks and good night. I don't know why is that. So what that's, I don't know. I sometimes this thing just gets on my nerve. There you go. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you so much. Bye-bye.